Kayleigh McEnany's husband, Shaun Gilmartin, found himself at the center of a media storm, accused, misrepresented, and dragged into the spotlight. But when the truth came out, McEnany wasn't going to stay silent. What really happened that day? Stay tuned, because this story is not what you think. Kayleigh McEnany's journey to White House. Kayleigh McEnany's journey to the White House is a testament to her unwavering dedication to politics and communication. Born on April 18, 1988 in Tampa, Florida, McEnany's early life was steeped in a family deeply rooted in their community. Her father, Michael McEnany, founded McEnany Roofing in 1985, establishing a successful business that provided a stable foundation for the family. From a young age, Kayleigh exhibited a keen interest in politics and governance. This passion led her to pursue higher education at Georgetown University's School of Foreign Service, where she earned a Bachelor of Science in Foreign Service (BSFS). Her academic pursuits didn't stop there. She furthered her studies at St. Edmund Hall, Oxford, honing her understanding of international politics. Determined to blend her political interests with legal expertise, McEnany attended Harvard Law School, earning her Juris Doctor JD in 2016. During her academic journey, McEnany sought practical experiences that would complement her studies. She interned for several prominent politicians, including Tom Gallagher and Adam Putnam, and gained invaluable experience working in the White House Office of Communications during President George W. Bush's administration. These internships provided her with a first-hand look at the intricacies of political communication and the inner workings of government. After completing her education, McEnany transitioned into the media landscape, where she could merge her political insights with public discourse. She began her media career as a producer for Huckabee on Fox News, hosted by former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. This role allowed her to delve into political commentary and analysis, setting the stage for her future endeavors. Her growing reputation as a knowledgeable political commentator led to a position at CNN, where she served as a contributor. During her tenure at CNN, McEnany was recognized for her articulate defense of conservative viewpoints, particularly during the 2016 presidential election. Her ability to effectively communicate complex political issues to a broad audience garnered attention from key figures within the Republican Party. In 2017, McEnany's alignment with Republican ideals and her media proficiency led to her appointment as the national spokesperson for the Republican National Committee, RNC. In this capacity, she became the face of the RNC, articulating party positions and strategies to the public and the press. Her role required a deep understanding of policy, quick thinking, and the ability to navigate challenging questions, all skills she had been cultivating throughout her career. Her tenure at the RNC paved the way for a more prominent role in national politics. In 2019, McEnany joined President Donald Trump's 2020 re-election campaign as the National Press Secretary. This position placed her at the forefront of the campaign's communication efforts, where she was responsible for conveying the administration's messages, defending its policies, and engaging with both supporters and critics. Her steadfast loyalty to President Trump and her adept handling of the press solidified her standing within the administration. The culmination of her efforts and dedication came on April 7, 2020, when President Trump appointed Kayleigh McEnany as the White House press secretary. At 31, she stepped into one of the most challenging roles in the administration, becoming the primary spokesperson for the president and the executive branch. Her tenure as press secretary was marked by her assertive defense of the administration's actions and her commitment to presenting its narrative amidst a highly polarized political climate. Throughout her journey to the White House, McEnany's path was characterized by a blend of rigorous academic preparation, strategic media involvement, and steadfast political engagement. Her ascent from internships and production roles to the podium of the White House press briefing room underscores a career built on resilience, adaptability, and an unyielding commitment to her political convictions. Following her tenure as press secretary, McEnany continued her involvement in political media. In March 2021, she joined Fox News as an on-air contributor, later becoming a co-host of the show Outnumbered. Her post-White House career reflects her ongoing influence in conservative media and her dedication to shaping public discourse. Kayleigh McEnany's journey serves as an illustrative example of how early political involvement, combined with media savvy and legal expertise, can propel an individual to the highest levels of governmental communication. Her story highlights the impact of strategic career choices and the importance of steadfast dedication to one's principles in navigating the complex landscape of American politics. But with such a high-profile position and unwavering defense of the Trump administration, how could McEnany avoid controversy? The answer is, she couldn't. Stay with us to uncover the most talked-about moments of her career. Famous controversies. Kayleigh McEnany's journey in the political spotlight was never without controversy. From her early days as a conservative commentator to her role as the White House press secretary under President Donald Trump, she was often at the center of heated debates. Whether it was her strong defense of the administration, her handling of press briefings, or her previous statements resurfacing, she remained a polarizing figure who both her supporters and critics watched closely. One of the earliest controversies tied to McEnany came before she even stepped into the White House. As a political commentator on various news platforms, she had a reputation for strongly defending conservative viewpoints. In 2012, she made comments about President Barack Obama's heritage that echoed the widely debunked birther conspiracy. Though she later shifted to focus on other political issues, these past remarks followed her into her tenure as press secretary, leading many to question whether she had helped spread misleading narratives. Her time as the national spokesperson for the Republican National Committee in 2017 also attracted scrutiny. After the violent white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, McEnany defended President Trump's response, which had been widely criticized for seemingly equating white supremacists with counter-protesters. She argued that Trump was promoting unity, but many viewed her defense as an attempt to downplay the severity of the situation. The backlash pointed out the challenges she faced in managing public perception while remaining loyal to the administration. When McEnany was appointed as White House press secretary in April 2020, the country was already deep into the COVID-19 pandemic. It wasn't long before her statements on the crisis became a major point of contention. A clip from a February 2020 interview surfaced in which she claimed that, "We will not see diseases like the coronavirus come here," implying that the Trump administration had the situation under control. As the pandemic worsened, this statement was repeatedly referenced as an example of the administration's failure to grasp the gravity of the crisis. In press briefings, McEnany often accused the media of bias against Trump, claiming that they exaggerated the severity of COVID-19 for political gain. She suggested that Democrats and journalists were using the pandemic to hurt Trump's re-election campaign. These remarks sparked outrage, as many believed she was dismissing the concerns of health experts. Her approach to the press briefings, where she often lectured journalists rather than answering questions directly, further fueled criticism. Her defense of the Trump administration extended beyond the pandemic. In the lead-up to the 2020 election, she became one of the most vocal supporters of claims that the election was being manipulated against Trump. Even after major news organizations and state officials confirmed that the election results were legitimate, McEnany continued to suggest that fraud had played a role. She repeatedly made statements about voting irregularities that were later debunked.
In American history, and what Democrats are saying to you is trust us, but don't verify.
Leading to accusations that she was spreading misinformation. The aftermath of the January 6th Capitol riot further intensified controversy surrounding her.
Learned about the riots. Sarah Murray explains what former White House press secretary Kayleigh McEnany was doing that day.
While she publicly condemned the violence, reports surfaced suggesting that she had privately reinforced claims of election fraud in the days leading up to the riot. Former Trump aide Alyssa Farah Griffin later testified before the House January 6th committee, referring to McEnany as a liar and an opportunist, implying that she knowingly misled the public. This added to growing debates over whether McEnany had played a role in fueling misinformation. Even after leaving the White House, McEnany continued to stir controversy in her role as a Fox News commentator. She frequently criticized the Biden administration while fiercely defending Trump's legacy. One particularly notable moment came when she expressed outrage over a presidential ranking poll that placed Trump at the bottom, calling it ridiculous and infuriating. Her reaction mirrored the same combative style she had displayed during press briefings, showing that her approach to political discourse had not changed. In spite of facing intense scrutiny, McEnany remained steadfast in her beliefs and unshaken by criticism. She framed her tenure as a battle against a biased media, arguing that her role was to expose unfair coverage of the Trump administration. To her supporters, she was a strong, articulate defender of conservative values, willing to challenge reporters and stand her ground. To her critics, she was a figure who prioritized loyalty over truth, often making misleading statements in the process. Another major controversy arose from McEnany's handling of racial justice protests following the death of George Floyd in 2020. As demonstrations erupted across the country, she strongly defended the Trump administration's response.
The death of George Floyd is absolutely tragic. That video that we saw, that I saw, that my staff saw, that the president saw.
Often downplaying concerns about police brutality while emphasizing law and order. Her remarks about the Black Lives Matter movement, in which she accused activists of promoting violence and division, further polarized public opinion. Critics accused her of using inflammatory rhetoric to shift focus away from systemic issues, while her supporters saw her as a voice against radical left-wing activism. McEnany also faced backlash for her approach to fact-checking during press briefings. She repeatedly clashed with journalists over their coverage of Trump's policies, claiming that mainstream media outlets were distorting facts. But independent fact-checkers frequently debunked many of her own statements, particularly regarding mail-in voting, the pandemic, and the economy. Her tendency to double down on misleading claims, even when presented with evidence to the contrary, fueled accusations that she was prioritizing partisan loyalty over accuracy. Her time as press secretary ultimately left a lasting mark on political media relations. She redefined the role by turning press briefings into a form of political theater, where challenging journalists was just as important as delivering information. This approach ensured that she remained relevant long after her departure from the White House, continuing to shape political debates and conservative media narratives. Beyond politics, McEnany's statements on social and cultural issues also sparked controversy. She criticized corporate America for adopting progressive policies, denounced cancel culture as an attack on free speech.
I'd ask the gods of cancel culture, if you can't apologize and be forgiven, what do they need to do? What are the next steps?
And defended conservative figures accused of spreading misinformation. Her unapologetic stance made her a hero to some and a lightning rod for criticism to others, solidifying her role as one of the most divisive political commentators in recent years. But beyond the press room battles and media clashes, who is Kayleigh McEnany away from politics? How does she balance the intensity of her career with her personal life? Let us tell you. Kayleigh McEnany marriage. Kayleigh McEnany's marriage has been a cornerstone of her life, providing stability and support through the highs and lows of her demanding career. As a political figure and media personality, she has faced constant public scrutiny, but her relationship with her husband, Shaun Gilmartin, has remained a steady foundation. Their union is a testament to balancing a high-profile career with the personal commitments of marriage and parenthood. Kayleigh and Shaun's relationship began long before she became a household name in politics. Shaun, a professional baseball pitcher, understood the pressures of a public career, which helped them navigate the challenges that came with Kayleigh's rise to prominence. Their bond grew stronger as they supported each other's ambitions, creating a partnership built on mutual understanding. In spite of the intense demands of her work, from serving as the White House press secretary to her role in media, she always prioritized her marriage. One of the most striking aspects of their relationship is the way they handle the public nature of Kayleigh's career. Being married to someone constantly in the media spotlight means dealing with criticism, political controversies, and relentless public attention. However, instead of allowing these challenges to create distance, they strengthened their connection by keeping their personal life grounded in faith and shared values. Kayleigh has often spoken about how faith plays a significant role in her life, and that extends to her marriage as well. Through every public challenge, she and Shaun have relied on their shared beliefs to maintain a strong foundation. Their love story took a new turn with the arrival of their daughter, Blake Avery. Becoming parents added a new dimension to their marriage, bringing both joy and additional responsibilities. For someone with a career as demanding as Kayleigh's, balancing motherhood with her professional obligations was no easy task. However, she embraced the challenge, making sure that her family remained at the center of her life. In spite of the long hours, political battles, and media obligations, she has consistently expressed that being a wife and mother is her most important role. Having a child while navigating the pressures of politics and media came with its own set of challenges. The unpredictable nature of her job meant that there were days when she had to be away from home, juggling travel schedules, press briefings, and on-air commitments. Yet she never allowed these responsibilities to overshadow her commitment to her family. She often spoke about the importance of making time for her loved ones, ensuring that no matter how chaotic her professional life became, her daughter and husband always felt prioritized. While Kayleigh is the one often in the public eye, Shaun has remained a supportive figure behind the scenes. As a professional athlete, he understands the demands of a career that requires constant travel and public exposure. This mutual understanding has been a key factor in their ability to navigate the pressures of life in the spotlight. Unlike many high-profile couples who struggle to balance their careers and personal lives, Kayleigh and Shaun have managed to create a dynamic where both can thrive. Even after stepping away from her role in the White House, Kayleigh has continued to show the importance of her family. Whether on television or through social media, she has shared glimpses of her life as a mother and wife, but she has also been careful to maintain a level of privacy. While many public figures open up every aspect of their personal lives to the world, she has been intentional about keeping certain moments just for her family. Throughout the challenges of public scrutiny, political debates, and shifting career paths, her marriage has remained a source of strength. She has often expressed that having a supportive partner has made all the difference, allowing her to pursue her professional ambitions without sacrificing her personal happiness. Despite the demanding nature of her career, she has found a way to ensure that her relationship and family life remain intact. Kayleigh McEnany's marriage is not just a personal commitment, it is a reflection of her values, faith, and belief in the power of family. Through every stage of her career, from the White House to her current media roles, she has demonstrated that success in public life does not have to come at the cost of personal fulfillment. Her ability to maintain a strong marriage while excelling in her professional endeavors is a testament to the strength of her relationship with Shaun. Together, they have built a life that withstands the pressures of public scrutiny while remaining deeply rooted in love, faith, and family. How did Shaun Gilmartin go from a promising young baseball player to an accomplished major league pitcher? Let's take a closer look at his fascinating career. Who is Shaun Gilmartin? Shaun Gilmartin's journey from a young baseball enthusiast to a professional MLB pitcher is a tale of dedication, talent, and resilience. Born on May 8, 1990 in Thousand Oaks, California, Shaun Patrick Gilmartin grew up in a family that valued both academics and athletics. His father, Dr. Paul J. Gilmartin, was a chiropractor with a background in baseball, having played professionally for 5 years, and later serving as a coach at Sacramento City College. This familial connection to the sport undoubtedly influenced Shaun's early passion for baseball. Shaun attended Crespi Carmelite High School in Encino, California, where he showcased his burgeoning talent on the pitcher's mound. His impressive performances caught the attention of major league scouts, leading to his selection by the San Diego Padres in the 31st round of the 2008 MLB Draft. However, valuing education and further development, Shaun chose not to sign with the Padres. Instead, he accepted a scholarship to Florida State University, where he would play for the Seminoles and further hone his skills. At Florida State, Shaun's prowess as a left-handed pitcher flourished. He quickly became a standout player, earning accolades and recognition for his contributions to the team. His junior year in 2011 was particularly noteworthy, as he was named an All-American by Baseball America, a testament to his skill and hard work. This recognition solidified his status as a top prospect for the upcoming MLB draft. Unlike many pitchers who rely solely on speed or power, Shaun was known for his sharp control and ability to manipulate pitches to deceive batters. His changeup, in particular, was considered one of his strongest assets, often leaving hitters guessing. Scouts and analysts frequently noted his calm demeanor on the mound, even in high-pressure moments, which made him a reliable option in late-inning situations. This adaptability was one of the key reasons the Mets utilized him in both starting and relief roles, maximizing his impact on the field. During his time with the Mets, Shaun served as a valuable asset in the bullpen. His versatility as a pitcher allowed him to adapt to various roles, whether as a starter or reliever. His tenure with the Mets was marked by memorable moments, including contributing to the team's success during the 2015 season, which culminated in a World Series appearance. After his stint with the Mets, Shaun's career saw him donning the jerseys of other MLB teams, including the Baltimore Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays. Each transition presented new opportunities and challenges, but Shaun's commitment to the game remained unwavering. In 2020, he was part of the Tampa Bay Rays roster during their impressive run to the World Series, showed his continued relevance and skill in the league. From his early days in California to the heights of MLB competition, his journey reflects a deep-seated passion for baseball and an unwavering commitment to excellence. But while Shaun Gilmartin built a name for himself in baseball, stepping into the political spotlight brought unexpected controversy. How did a simple visit to support his wife turn into national headlines? McEnany's husband finally spoke out. Shaun Gilmartin, the husband of former White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, never expected to be at the center of a controversy when he decided to attend one of his wife's press briefings in December 2020. As a professional baseball pitcher, he had spent his career focused on the game, not politics. But that day, a simple moment turned into a media storm. Gilmartin stood quietly in the James S. Brady briefing room watching McEnany speak at the podium. It was a gesture of support, nothing more. But observers quickly noticed something. He wasn't wearing a mask. At a time when COVID-19 protocols were strictly enforced, this small detail became a big issue. Veteran New York Times photographer Doug Mills approached him and pointed out that face coverings were required in the room. Gilmartin didn't argue, didn't raise his voice, and didn't refuse to comply. Instead, he left with a White House staffer. But as soon as the incident was reported, a different version of the story began to spread. Media outlets claimed that Gilmartin had shouted from the back of the room, cheering for his wife as she finished her briefing. Some reports even suggested that he had gotten into a heated argument with Mills, refusing to wear a mask. The story quickly made its way to major news networks, adding fuel to an already tense political climate. But as the details unraveled, inconsistencies emerged. Gilmartin later spoke out to clarify what really happened. He explained that no one had asked him to wear a mask while he was in the room. Mills only mentioned it as he was leaving, saying, "Wear a mask next time." Gilmartin simply walked out without responding. There was no shouting, no confrontation, and certainly no refusal to follow the rules. If someone had asked him earlier, he said he would have gladly complied. Several reporters who were present backed up his account, confirming that there was no argument between Gilmartin and Mills. Even the White House assistant press secretary, who had accompanied Gilmartin, dismissed the reports of a verbal altercation as exaggerated. But by then, the damage was done. The false version of the story had already made headlines, painting Gilmartin as defiant and reckless. Adding to the confusion, it was later revealed that another person, an unidentified conservative podcaster, had been the one who shouted, "You crushed it, Kayleigh," from the back of the room. This detail, however, was buried beneath the initial reports that had already gone viral. Some outlets issued corrections, and CNN's Anderson Cooper even apologized after initially running with the incorrect version of events. For Gilmartin, the experience was a harsh introduction to the unpredictable nature of political media. A simple visit to support his wife had turned into a scandal, fueled by assumptions and rushed reporting. It was a reminder of how quickly narratives can take shape and how difficult it can be to correct misinformation once it spreads. Ultimately, this brief moment showed the intense scrutiny surrounding public figures and their families. Gilmartin may not have been a political figure, but his association with McEnany put him in the spotlight in ways he never expected. Through it all, he remained composed, choosing to set the record straight without engaging in further controversy. But if the media could twist a simple moment into a controversy, how would they react when Kayleigh McEnany decided to fight back? McEnany rips CNN's fake news about her husband. Kayleigh McEnany had never been one to back down from a fight, especially when it came to defending the truth. And when CNN's Anderson Cooper accused her husband, Shaun Gilmartin, of breaking White House rules and loudly cheering for her during a press briefing, she wasn't going to let it slide. For McEnany, this wasn't just a minor mistake, it was another example of the media's bias. Cooper, known for his Keeping Them Honest segment, presented the story as if he had uncovered a major scandal, but instead of reporting facts, he amplified a false narrative that quickly spread. McEnany wasted no time setting the record straight. She took to Twitter and directly called out CNN, exposing the network's misleading claims. Instead of vague accusations, she provided concrete evidence, an official White House pool report from a journalist who was actually in the room. The report contradicted CNN's claims, proving that the cheering had come from someone else entirely, not Gilmartin. But this wasn't just about defending her husband, it was about holding the media accountable. McEnany knew how misinformation could shape public opinion, especially when it involved high-profile political figures. A single misreported detail, when repeated by major news networks, could create an entirely false perception. And that's exactly what happened here. Anderson Cooper's framing of the event, with dramatic narration and selective footage, was meant to reinforce an existing political narrative. The media's eagerness to sensationalize the moment overshadowed the actual truth. While some outlets quietly corrected their reports, CNN did not offer a formal retraction. This wasn't the first time McEnany had confronted misleading media reports, and she made it clear it wouldn't be the last. She directly called out the hypocrisy of CNN's tagline, sarcastically flipping it against them, keeping them honest. The irony wasn't lost on her audience. Thanks for watching. If you found this story about Shaun Gilmartin and the media controversy intriguing, be sure to like and share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to click on the cards for more eye-opening stories just like this.